Absolutely no time getting things started at this one. Quick plays in towards the long control for the likes of Floppy, especially looking down towards CT, spotting Glaive, but getting picked up by that CT player. Junior spots Config, forcing him back passive over at the short control, but he still peeks in, gets another good headshot. A 5 versus 3, making it 2 as Config doubles up himself. JT and Fang, there should be no way back out of this pistol, especially as Fang's being faced around by Config. There's the headshot, 1v5.
What a perfect start this has been from Astralis. Players all around the A side now, and JT's all alone, just hoping for anything from this point onwards. Config with yet another kill into the round pick. You want to try and get off to a steamer of a start, and that's only going to build up some confidence too. What a perfect pistol that was from Config.
Oh, lovely Nathan Blame. Damage done. Easy pickings against Floppy. JT quick to follow suit as well. The TK does come through from Fang, take away one rifle, or one kill away from the Astralis side, but not like it matters too much for the grand scale of things. 1v4 for Grim from us, at least in his hands, but doesn't go much further than that. Easy pickup for Config. Still can't get Blame to drop. Drops out towards pit position. Nades out for him. Of course, they know that he's there, so they will be able to hunt the kill eventually. And Ziff caught with a USP in hand means that he's ultimately dead to rights on Fang's part. Farlig forced to trade. 4v3 for complexity here.
JT on the side is just hoping for cover from some of his other teammates. No util for the team to work with on the post plant.
There's the headshot towards Glaive, so now Config and Farlig forced to back off and save. There is, as you mentioned, no kit, no utility either, so just hold on to the weapons. A perfect opportunity to do so as well. By all accounts, Astralis walking into this series as heavy favourites. Grim going to charge forward, and Ziff will try and find some sort of contact position. A kill would be nice. A dink onto Grim is at least a decent start. The frag already found towards JT. Blame, well, gets picked up on a collateral, in fact. There's Junior turning the fragging advantage, the man advantage, all going in favour of the T side. Ziff does get one good trade. That's as far as it goes with the P250, though. Now 1 versus 3 for Glaive. The loss bonus build to the 3rd stage. They can afford a follow-on buy for this one here. Complexity, however, must be riding with momentum at this stage.
And if we go back to that conversation about, is it going to be a 2-0 one way? Is it going to be about a 2-0 the other way? Complexity have only won 1 out of 4 map picks in this event so far, whereas Astralis have won 3 out of 4. Overall, you want to try and get as much pace and pressure on as possible to get some picks.
2, 3, 4 shots out of Config. Eventually, they do connect to get the kill off on JT.
Just trying to see if we can catch them off guard with maybe a smoke out or some of the util being pinned. Fang making a lot of noise down there in the lower tunnels, and Grim's going to fall next.
Config looking for the triple, the 3-peat, not quite able to make it happen. Fang finally gets that trade. Junior trying to get towards short boxes, get the start down the short side. Ziff still getting some decent damage in, setting up Blame F for a decent kill, but he only gets 1 for his trouble as Floppy trades to a 2v2 situation. Again, Complexity fighting away for the advantages that Astralis have gained here. Smokes down, perfectly timed. The flashbang goes over. That does blind the T-side players off. Meanwhile, Glaive tries action out towards this long control, getting Floppy. Suddenly, Junior is left alone. A 1 versus 2, AK in hand. Aware that Fang's inbound towards short slumber. Will he push ahead of the smoke? Yes, he will. Junior's ready for it. Not aware of how close Glaive is. Now he most certainly is. Shot bringing out. AK looking for the spray down, looking for the headshot back against the IGL. And he wins that engagement. Hell of a clutch for Junior's not ready for it. Tunnel vision focus on the long corner. Zipp's looking for a bit more here against Floppy and Fang. The Molotov will try to force him out as Fang gets both him and Farlig right behind him. Blame F, however, undetected. Scene 2, including the bomb. And patience most certainly is a virtue for him. A 3v2 for Astralis now. Get that kill on both Blame and Glaive at this stage. I don't even think that they've got any time to get the bomb back to the site, especially as Blame gets the kill towards JT. So Grim well out of position.
Astralis, the way that they're pulling the attention away in from Zip, playing in a corner on the other side of the blue bin position.
Still able to get the kill from Carr. Start things off on the right foot. That was all a luck, though. The real charge comes in towards short, and Farlig's going to try and meet him head on. The Deagle just couldn't focus. The flashbang harming them. Zip and Blame fall quickly. The nades damage will tank Grim to 7 points of HP. The Config and Glaive in the 2 versus 4. Junior first man to face will get out of dodge here. Still tagged up by that 5-7. Surely from here it should all fall apart. Somehow Config still gets another frag back, and Grim is barely evading the ire of Glaive, who does get that trade back. An AK in hand, and he's going for more.
That's a very good eco again for Astralis. They can always be happy about that point. Trying to work on the edge of the smoke, doing so much damage down to Fang at that goose position. Floppy's got the cross being set from that car angle.
Something just to hold off on the A-side defense. He's setting himself so perfectly. That incendiary goes down right in center of mass, and JT Blame's even got the nade in to combine with it. Grim and JT down, and the advantage swings the way of Astralis now. Fang picked up on a directive engagement, so he's out of the round. Floppy and Junior, 4 versus 2, 10 seconds. The whole round stalled to a grinding halt. Junior might even fall here. Indeed he will. Floppy to survive as Astralis gain a very good 4th round.
A lovely util damage just to keep chunking down towards those lower tunnels players to stall with the time. And with that sort of setup there for double digits plus at the turn of the half.
Thompson smokes in. There's 4 players to receive them on the Astralis side, though. On the A side, they've read this so well, and Blame has already lined up a double. Floppy and Fang down. Junior trades back and Zip right through the smoke. Gets JT as well. Grim can't quite hold on to enough trades. He's desperately trying to do so, but as he refaces Blame, Junior becomes the last man standing. 1 versus 3, only good for a kill. Blame shuts him down, and now we're down to...
The majority of the rifle rounds, his util and his multi-fracking potential has been the difference. A double spam through smoke, you'd be so frustrated if you're Complexity. You're not doing a lot wrong there. You've got the cross smoke down. You're trying to run up towards that ramp position to start putting pressure into the bomb side. And what happens? You get a couple of lucky connections from Blame F through the smoke.
That's so unfortunate for Cole. They'll just charge straight in with the Glocks pulled out. P250-1, Glaive and Farley cross-firing nicely. Config gets his 2 bits of the pie. Give away any info to the Dane. Flashbang in from Junior to allow the shooting from Grim. He hits the bomb first and he gets killed off for it. At least there's a trade for Floppy, but they're going to charge straight into the B side. They've got to read that this aggressive play is going to leave an open sight, but they're unable to get there in time. Incendiary down from Glaive blocks off the execution as Fang strikes towards mid. Farley calls the trade. 3v3 situation and JT still lurking up there. Glaive gets his kill, drops the bomb. JT falls. Junior once again left to clutch it and he just can't seem to get the job done. All the pressure against him and Astralis say no. Blame just work out towards the mid control, flashed in to look for info, but can't seem to spot them. Meanwhile, Conflict is going to get driven back a little bit by the mass numbers here from this T-side line, but Fang has fallen in the interim. Blame gets a kill through smoke, so 2 left on the Complexity side. They get that 1 trade. There's 4 more to go.
Yeah, even here, where do you work? You go back up towards T-spawn. Is it still being held? Astralis have members around. Very difficult 2v4 to recover, and even the reposition out towards the longhouse. JT and Grim desperate for anything. At least they've done damage onto Zip.
19 HP, they need to get the trade going with Grim dropping the bomb out towards tunnels again. There's no chance. Blame F with another frag to make his tally 19.
JT on how he's going to be able to respond. Only finishing that half with 3 kills. Really needs to step it up in the second, but maybe his teammates are going to do all that for him. The long contact already coming through, the bomb being dropped. Glaive's managed a couple of kills. They might still be able to get a bomb plan on A from this.
So they'll group up as a 3-man unit and try to see if they can find the individual fights here. Farley, headshot on the first player, though. Cleans up JT to make it a kill for him in this round. On for the 3K if he challenges against Alder successfully here. Floppy out towards mid. Fang and Suicide detected but not dead. Now Glaive has got to try and act towards the site, or will he try and take the fights himself? Waiting in the corner of long. If he doesn't get checked here, then Complexity will be in some deep, deep trouble.
And they're trying to see if they can force the mistake to come out. They peek together, but Glaive lands the bullet, and now
he's waiting for contact. Fang has repositioned again, trying to play the one-up game against Glaive. 1 bullet's all it takes. Doesn't even need to be a headshot for the CT player. For Glaive, it does, though. Get out for him, so time play with. Tap once. Glaive takes the face, and Fang takes the kill and holds the round together to get the pistol for Complexity. A2 or anyone else for that matter. Back for another close combat against the likes of Glaive. There it is. Great kill. Smoke against him. Molotov's down. T-side players will cross out towards elbow. Junior might have a bit of work to do himself. Still got an SMG playing around the smokes, and JT is forced back to join Junior, who finds Farley. Looks for Blame, who does get that 1 good trade back. Seeing JT as well, I believe, back behind that ramp position. Scout watching out for him, and Grim will try back up the SMG as Astralis slowly walk forward, try and get this bomb down to the site and play it from there. Scout damage done towards Grim next, and there comes the kill for JT. Last player seen. Now she'll get bracketed and surely should fall.
Yeah, very good response coming through from Complexity.
Set piece execution towards the B side. They've only got Floppy to contend with. Good smokes in initially, but they've already used it on the T side line. Does take a peek in. Config ahead of the game, ahead of the flashbang. So much damage done. Fang's got to line up some through the smoke. Gets one before it blooms, and is traded back by Zip ahead of it. So 3 versus 3, all 100 HP for Complexity. The retake is on. CTs continue to walk forward. Half the time expired on this bomb, and Zip's going to reposition to another angle as well. Molotov against that angle, so he's going to get forced out of the bomb site into another corner. Footsteps might get heard. JT going to look towards backside. Glaive gets caught. 2 players left, and he gets a double up as well. Farley with 1 good trade back. Molotov on the bomb. That's perfect. Is there a smoke down for Junior? I don't think there is. A kill can come through. He's done it himself. Farley with a triple, in fact.
That's still a risky buy in for complexity when you go in for a weaponry like this. And the information's been gathered. They're going to start stacking up on A with a flash over the top, and that's already the AWP dealt with. Can't imagine that's going to get picked up for too much longer. Grim fights in for one, gets refaced, so one kill's all that's going to be found from that rifle.
Junior with the USP now at elevator. Bomb will go down. Config seen him, kills him off. Means there's less likely of a buy coming in from him in the next round. I might have to get drop weapons if they can afford it for that matter. E250 for Config, flashed in initially, JT shuts him down immediately, playing anti-flash with Fang on the backup position. Blame doesn't win that one fight, and two players face Fang, they're getting to 3 HP. Blame's got 2 frags for his trouble, that's 2 rifles to work with now. Grim's got to make the backstab happen, and Zip will end up falling. The York now, the task here for Junior's part is unaware of the player that just crossed. Glaive gonna walk right up towards that man, and finally a response is in, but Junior misses the shot. Now there's pressure, now there's a bomb plant to find.
Yeah, puts that molly down and try and stall. Even Grim's taking some damage. Junior's going to fall 2v2. This is so winnable.
Flames on 3 kills, the head not seen. Grim crossing past, sees Farlig, he gets his frag. Floppy alone, Eco still for Astralis, this is Config. Floppy just moving forward towards his angle, spotting players, gets the engagement against Blame and also wins against Farlig. Also said, it all rests on Fang and Floppy to hold on to the defense. There could be some blind fire from Junior as well through the CT spawn, flashing against Floppy, blind as a bat. Good kill against him, but Junior supporting the Zip going down. The flick from Fang does not go towards Config's head, so a 3v3 instead as the bomb gets planted and Farlig gets the advantage.
Oh, you gotta back off, gotta save, you can't keep going for this. Oh, JT forced into a position where he doesn't need to fight there. You've got to realize your chances.
Needs to stay in, but look at how close Glaive is. Look at how close Farlig is. AK, slow walk in. There's a good shot. There's a good kill. Trying to escape dodge here against the player inbound from long, but you still got to worry about Farlig here. No, not quite the shot he wants. Farlig right around the corner. Both shots miss out. Okay, Junior stays alive. Yeah.
No, not at all. Gotta really harshly eco this sort of round. And even the flash, the way that Floppy turns around in that one. And for Farlig, yeah, he gets caught out into the open, but JT has got to be saving in this one. Bring 2 rifles into that next round. Getting too desperate there, and maybe that...
Great flashing against Fang, disappearing behind that smoke initially, gonna reface. Smokes go down, sees one, gets Config, and Glaive has absolutely no idea. Zip does find a responsive though. He backs off towards that mid position. The other AWP has found his angle as Blame starts walking out. JT detected and sprayed down. B site has fallen, 3 versus 3.
Astralis has been strong on the post plant so far.
Flash is going over, Zip caught with U2 in hand. Grim on the center of the site, catching Blame there. Farlig then to deal with Floppy, but Grim doubles up, looks for the triple, but Zip gets it to a 1 versus 1. 9 points of HP. Junior with a nade out, and Zip barely alive. Still Junior looking for the kill, but he can't land it. The spray drives him off, and Zip, 1 headshot's all he requires, but 1 bullet's all Junior needs. A USP will deliver the final blow.
That comes into a 1v1 clutch, and at that sort of situation, you're just hoping, backing Junior to be able to get it. He's been fantastic in the clutches over the course of Dust 2, really stepping up when it's required. Grim coming in with those flashes, no one can see him.
Genuinely thought that was a kill for Farlig right there. Zip out of the longhouse looking for Fang. Incendiary's going down. He must have seen him as well. Grim first to fall to blame F's part as the long engagement continues to come through. Fang might get forced into a fight, being the only rifle. JT's SMG might not be enough here. And Fang goes back to him with 33 HP. He's got 3 kills. JT gets 1 as well. And that might just be enough.
Oh my goodness, a splendid, sensational moment there to come through from the one individual at long, but is it going to make a difference onto the round? Farlig's forced into a 1v1. How aggressive does Floppy get?
Both players extremely careful about this. Farlig getting into harder cover. Seen there. Tap burst fire for Floppy. That's all he needs to do.
And Floppy's going to be the anchor player. Fang's still there on rotate.
And that nade being baited out starts the execution. Sprays through from both him and Floppy. Fang doubles up, gets dealt with by Glaive at long last. At Mac 10 rounds the corner. Farlig caught with a bomb on his back, but he gets that triple in. A 3 versus 3 and needs to get the plant down. The AWP slowly but surely creeping in from the tunnels as the bomb gets planted. There's more utility down towards Junior's position, but Farlig drops as the Zip, and it's all on Glaive. Hiding back behind car, seeing JT burst through the damage. Junior's fallen, as is JT, but Grim's way too close and way too agile. That will be 16-13. Complexity take map 1.
Oh, they ended on a...
USPs and the P2K pulled out here with the utility set for Grim and the utility set for Zip, and over on Farlig's part as well on the Astralis side. There will be a decent amount of work with the execution. They'll pop open the squeaky door. It's floppy from the bear down upon them from the rafters. He gets killed off by Config, who doubles up the junior all the same. JT fell in the interim, so a 4 versus 2. Grim quick to respond up towards that heaven position. Good flick on the zip. Trying to connect to Config the same, but unable to do so. Decent rifle round for the next for Complexity. Let's see what kind of damage they can do here. Deagle out for Fang. Brought down immediately by Blame. Zipx similar scenario towards Floppy's position. JT does get one good trade. And Grim, a similar story out on the site itself. Config dropping and an AK now in his hands. He gets towards the outside. Junior, of course, with no doorways to his name, so if they're going to swing, they're going to have to get the frag immediately. Mac 10 at long range sees it. Bex, burst fire, spray through. Blame so close, gets that frag. Grim quickly making noisily making his way up to sight. Zipex doesn't hear him actually. Kill found a 4 versus 4. Smoke can go down. He's going to try and see if he can fight onto Blame here. Look to the right-hand side. A flashbang forward. The tap forward to the AK himself. And Grim taps it once, trying to force Blame to take a peek, but doesn't end up doing so. He's trying desperately to win this 1v1. There's no kit on Grim either. 10-second stick might have to be required, and Blame is continuously looking, continuously spraying. No stray bullets to land. The smoke is still up, but not for long. Kill found. Are they expecting it? They have their eyes trained on that entrance. WP, frag taken towards Clave. M4 for Grim's going to swing, but Zipex does get away with a casualty, but Junior with the trade. Floppy also comes up from the B site as well. Up towards Ramp. Blame and Farley will fall to his hands, and Config's in a 1 versus 3. Oh, he just barely escapes with the bomb on his back. And now the TTs have adjusted towards it. Player over at Old Toxic. Config won't check his position. Got to prioritize that bomb plant. And Floppy says, no thank you, sir. Be a split in towards this A site, though. Plays forward, burst through from Zipex. Grim right around that corner. Catches him with U2 in hand. All important frag. And got to look towards that mini position. And he does get Clay for it.
Oh, very nicely done. And now even JT starting to spool around, try and get some information towards outside. Grim gets caught, and JT falls on the lurk.
3 versus 3 situation for it. Config leaning in. The AK watching and Blame and Config get their trade. Suddenly Floppy is left alone. A 1 versus 3.
Yeah, this walk is looking ever so deadly from Blame F. It's all a matter of timing, and when they cross each other's paths, the ping comes through, and Floppy deals with him.
Tag to 48, though. Farlig set up with a chance of 1 versus 1. Floppy in with a clutch potential, and there's Farlig with the headshot. And lost all manners of control in that context, and even though it came down to a clutch, it's the same thing we were talking about with the clutches in the pre-matchup. Come back to that in a second, because execution out for Astralis towards the top side. They dropped the bomb in the lobby crunch, though. Floppy traded back by Farlig. Junior Zorp is still watching the position. Heard on the Molotov damage. He gets away with a kill towards Farlig. Yeah, Config's position is most powerful as well, because they can't see him in heaven, and he engages against them as a result, popping up. Junior looking the wrong way. And JT also the known entity. Blame can go ahead and wrap around to grab that bomb. Config continues to hold the angle against the CT player. Look for that headshot. Burst fire. Tag him to 18 HP. And JT wants to get out of there. Is this a save call or is this a reposition?
Oh, you can't really save. You're not going to buy next round. Even on low HP, you've got to have the confidence to win the 1v2.
Molotov set. Blame. Not even needing to plant. Config gets his triple.
Secret, he hasn't quite been able to find the level of success from this area in the past, though.
Gotta get the head on Glaive. There it is. Great kill. Fullback.
And even Fang is just working with a bait and switch, trying to draw Blame F out into the open. Oh, this is difficult to get Config into the mix, though. They need a distraction.
Smoke set in. And Fang fought on by Farlig. A frag found, but Floppy finishes off Config the same as JT gets Farlig next.
Try and see if Complexity can start swinging rounds together in a row. Especially with the fact that a lot of AKs are being recovered by quite a significant margin with the scoreline, and they want to try and keep the pressure on. Fast play from Astralis to the top of take.
Oh, pressure just by the pacing alone. Fang turning away from the players that battle line up for him. Zipex with the kill. Grim with a double up. Looks for that triple, but can't quite finish the job. JT forced to bail him out. A 3 versus 2. And Complexity have somehow come out on top of this rush tactic here. The bomb dropped on site. Got to commit towards A. Floppy also creeping into the back lines. Farlig making a ton of noise, but Floppy will not close in the backstab.
Try and get that bomb down and focus the attention on the Rat players. In from heaven, back into that lobby control. The timing's going to be everything in when JT starts to act with Floppy.
Oh, can't lock onto the quick scope flick. And now Glaive is all that remains. 1 versus 3. Backed up in Hut, looking out towards the rafters, looking up towards heaven. JT fights on towards the man and wins out his double. Tanking a lot of damage, but ultimately getting the round. Up towards the roof of lobby. A very fast inner take once again. Config. Mac 10 up against Grim, who does get traded back by Fang. As Glaive there with the 1 kill on the round for the T-side line, as Fang doubles up against Zipex as well. Blame and Farley, the 2 AKs, all that remain. They'll get at least 1 casualty, but that's as far as it will go. And Farlig last to fall to flop.
This could be them really minimalizing the scoreline advantage now.
Utility thrown down, Molotovs in, Fang gets the kill on Blame to start things off. Floppy ready for more out towards the ramp position. It's the AWP Junior that actually gets the next kill back. Floppy does get his piece of the pie. And the one player, oh, Junior, a little bit shocked at that one. Does get picked up by Config in the end. He wasn't expecting that at all. To act with that kill, the Seas are going to back things up, but Config does give up his life.
Grim on the off angle towards the top side needs to try and slow it down, and that's exactly what he finds. Dealing with Blame F, and Astralis have got to cancel with his top side play.
A 4-on-3 situation. Farley get 2 points of health. Glaive caught off by Fang. Now it's left to a 2v4. Zipex I work into the 100 HP. Farley on 2 points of health. So if Zipex falls, that's round done at this stage. A pretty impossible clutch for Farley to take. Buyback's not fantastic for Astralis. They'll try to rush in once again. Grim does get a little bit overzealous. Not sure of how many players are around him. Fang and Junior drop into the site. Get blaming Glaive, and Junior lands on Farley the same. Config, the last one standing. Can't make much happen out of it. So it will be 8-7 for Complex. Will pour out and the flashbangs will come in. It's a top site execution, and Config reads it like a book. Farley's trying to find his angle out towards the closed vent, but Config's overwhelmed in the open part of the site. There's Glaive to fall. Farley with 2 headshots, looking for the triple against JT, and that's exactly what he gets. Junior trying to hunt this player down. The backup has arrived. Farley finally falls, but Junior is fallen back in turn. It's Floppy alone for the 3K clutch. Gets his second and tries to look for that third player as well. Headshot desperately required. All sorts of bullets going into the body as if. Where do they go with this? Up towards the B side seems to be the likely call here, with Fang now taking point with the Mac 10. Kill on Zipex, doubles up. Not quite the triple. 3 versus 3. That's what Farley's there for. Clean up duty against Floppy and Junior. JT in the 1 versus 3 doesn't get past Config.
And this is, again, the conversation that we come into. The force buys for both teams.
Lashes forward on his own part, wrapping the corner, and Blame F catches him off guard as he wasn't quite ready for the corner. This player's taking a triple for Blame F once again, stacking up the numbers like he's done all day today.
1v1 fights up against Blame F because you're going to get shredded to pieces, and we saw exactly that. What a round out from the Astralis side. No one falling at all. That is fuel of confidence now.
Incendiaries and flashes, the smokes get blocked off by Farley. Needs to win that first fight, and that second not quite so much so, but he's done his work here. He's got a kill, he's got a massive gap in that smoke. It's easy pickings for Blame F. So much damage done to Floppy and Fang. At least they'll get out of dodge safely and evade that nade. Junior will cross in the end as well. So all 3 players will be known down here in secret, and Config is just so ready to get these frags. Fang bounced around the corner. Oh, he's seen. That's a kill, that's a double, that's a round.
A beautiful angle, just hugging the corner right there down towards the bottom of secret position. And what Complexity are trying to do is get a boost up to look to double doors, to give themselves the height advantage, maybe catch Config off guard, but the reposition's just everything. Junior back in for a fight.
Coming from all sorts of angles here. You can see Glaive slowly pushing up against him. Smokes down, Zipex rounds the corner and gets the kill.
Yeah, very difficult 1v3 in all there for Junior, because
JT continues working in. He heard those scopes as well.
Yeah, this fight could win the round, honestly, and even that might not make a difference. Fang getting another kill towards topside. That's just distraction being pulled now.
Zipex caught off by JT, so another CT falls. Fang pressure from all sides of the site. Grim gets his kill in the round, and Blame F in a 1 versus.
You've got some of the top side players really hitting out, and then from that point onwards, JT's got an easy kill. Just to get in from heaven, deal with Zip, start putting pressure down to the single door, drop this final AK. How many kills come through? Maybe a couple? Okay, that's all important. Only 1 gets dropped, and Grim.
Junior, you can see him in the corner of your screen right there. He's ready to put some mollies down. The counter incendiary from Glaive. Smartly called, but he's going to rush forward a bit. Blind sprays, does so much damage. Gets away with 1 kill. Fang, however, forced to trade. Config extends out towards Squeak Door, and Zipex catches Fang in center sight. So, AK standing. Junior checking the ramp entrance. Will Fang check the backside? The gun barrel peeks out. The spray's good. 4-2 with Config finding JT out towards Squeaky. Again pushing forward. Again finding the lobby control. And again leaving Grim in a 1v5.
Dealt with 1, and any more is going to be a difficult factor. Trying to get down the ladder. Zip is on the other side. The
team, Fang, 1 behind him. Those are the 2 players you want to see perform. And look at Floppy, straight out the gate, straight out in the center of the site. Config, spray on 1, only gets 1. Glaive trades, Floppy responds. JT falls in turn to a 3v2. Low HP from Zipex, out towards lobby as Junior gets that frag. He suddenly stands alone with a bomb in the center of the site. He's got to make his way forward. He's got to clutch this.
Junior's got to try and get the bomb down. Really needs to fight in this 1v2.
And both coming in from ramp, got to isolate each individual jewel. He's trying to back up towards this decomposition, and Farlig just lands him. As soon as he peeks, as soon as he frags. The mini cross, nice nade in from Glaive, doing damage to Fang, blind spraying towards his general position, but nothing really landing against him. JT, meanwhile, walks towards outside, and Blame just catches the dink against him and doubles up towards Fang the same. 2 kills towards outside. Grim desperately trying to hold on to a trade, but none of it comes through. And Junior's left alone to be the hero of complexity or die trying, because Astralis now only a frag away from taking this map and sending North America's hopes down the toilet. 16-10 as we go to map 3.
What a second half. That was absolute perfection from Astralis. Getting forced out into the open with a slight amount of util. So much pace in towards this cave control. Farlig's hearing all the footsteps.
USP up against him coming out of the cave entrance. Can't quite land a kill shot onto Fang. BlameF getting a little bit closer on Junior's part, and indeed that man falls outside of the B doors. Zipex caught on the reload. Grim with his kill. BlameF with a double up, but only the double. Fang trades it back. It's a 1v3 for Glaive instead. Grim picked up, so that's a frag back for his own right on the clutch. No kit in for him. There might be one drop. Never mind. Fang was going to lose very quickly, and Floppy almost gives up the fight himself, but ultimately comes up good for complexity as they take kicking things off well enough with the conversion that also should follow suit.
Yeah, you'd probably just have a 5v5 save. Or look, for exit frags in this sort of position, you've got a bit more of a stack over to mid and A, and you get rushed in towards a B site. Exy,
no.
hang on a minute. This is now actually doable for the retake.
Oh no, complexity, please. Okay, sprays through. Fang does come up with a decent couple of kills. Config still maintain the man advantage though. 3v1 as JT drops on the diffuser. Kill for Fang, pistol pulled out. Blame's going to try cover him off guard. There's the Glock kill, knife pulled out for Fang. He's dealt with by Zipex, and he's done enough to at least hold the timer. Astralis have only the P250s and 5.7 pulled out here for Config, and he's going to catch another kill on Grim to make up for not winning out on the pistol. He's going to get plenty of pistol kills. He's dropped the bomb. What is going on? 4v3 complexity just capitulating now.
Oh, this is getting so uneasy. And with Astralis with all these players down on A, if there's some more bait setups, there could still be some further damage. JT's alone.
He's also low, and he's dead. Fang comes up with a trade. Zipex working in from this donut position. Glaive and Blame will end up falling as Zipex makes it a 1v1 up against Junior. What a tap! Oh my god, that was a shot! In with worse, mostly on the Astralis side. Molotov set, Glaive out towards the initial central box. 2 backs turn towards him, gets 2 kills. Wrapped in upon by Junior, does drop that bomb. And Fang there with at least a decent trade. Farlig holds on to control, and BlameF will deal with Floppy. Still aggress out towards Lane instead. Almost catch JT. USP pull down against Floppy. That's 2 players that BlameF can hunt for. Nade towards the position. That probably no, doesn't quite catch JT actually. Landing on the lip of that boost up. Zipex's nade will eventually get his kill. Double up against Floppy. USP pulled out against Grim for the triple. The AK up close and personal against BlameF will at least find that one good trade back, but still can't see where the next CT is at. The bomb almost goes down here. Junior actually takes 5 points of HP. Grim trying to wrap that corner. Eventually we'll get to a 2 versus 2. But HP numbers on the T side do not look fantastic. The USP pulled out for Farlig for good reason here. Bomb attempted to plant. I think on the safe side ahead of the smoke. Either way, Glaive's going to get Grim. Junior in the 1v2. Needs to hit both headshots. Not going to happen.
Yeah, very awkward thinking about getting slightly aggressive, catching JT off guard. And even with a crossfire that's being set up in lane, this is already going to deal with him.
Grim to fall, Blame to line up 2. Okay, Floppy flops around the corner and lands another play headshot. 4 versus 3. Zipex pressured a little bit as Farlig falls. The backstab from Config's a little bit late to the party. The bomb should commit to the B site. Might probably get plot if safely here. Smoke's down. Zipex hoping that something comes ahead of the smoke itself. The bomb planted should go down. Config slowly wrapping in, though, has just missed the mark on Floppy. Maybe we'll catch the mark on Junior, though. Never mind. Headshot for the T-side player. Advantage now for complexity. Zipex caught off the same. Junior with a double, and Glaive in the 1v3.
Just trying to see if he can get closer towards that bomb itself. Junior with a peek out, ends up with a triple. What an insane round, individually speaking there. For a lot of respect forward, and now the initial defensive coming through.
Spray through against Floppy, doing some damage. Lines up 2 in the end. USP pulled out against Junior. His AWP misses, and Glaive forced to play a ring of roses with this player. Call for backup. Junior does get his kill in the end, but the bomb dropped in the open. Grim forced to strike out of main. Config falls. 2 versus 2. Blame and Zip Last two players out here in towards this mid and temple position. Out temple, Blame will fall. With Zipex trying to catch off the bomb carrier. Junior drops 13 seconds. Grim's got to take that fight, and Zipex knows that he can't win. He can win on the timer alone. It does get picked up by Grim. I think he'll just have enough to get back there and plant the bomb, so it will be a retake in a 1v1.
As it coming through from that CT spawn angle, how quickly does Grim reposition? Looks like he wants to go aggressive on this 1v1 phase. Swing comes out wide, so much damage land onto Zipnix.
5 HP, and he continues to lean in, catches the crack angle and almost takes Grim. 2 HP for him to stay alive. Yeah, no choice in the matter. Again, expensive rounds coming in. Complexity should make this easy pickings as well. No major upgrades except for the P250. In fact, more damage comes in from JT against his own team, let alone the CT's taking a fray. There's a backstab from Zipex. Might provide some interest, maybe a knife kill. Here in the footsteps of the 2 players up top mid. Engages against them. No. Grim checks angle at the right time. Right across the board here for the Complexity side, leaning in over at Kenny. Zipex in the corner, detected by Floppy, and Floppy gets the kill for it. Now joined by Config here. Taps and bursts continue to come through at the forward player. The flash is going over, the smoke's down. They do catch Fang off guard. 2 to line up for Blame F, and he's got them both. Now suddenly Junior alone, the 1 versus 3. All 3 players coming from the same position, but his lineups, some presence moving in from the T side line out towards this lane position. As more CTs aggress, they'll recognize that's not the case. In fact, Zipex gets a kill on Floppy. JT falls to trade it. Farlig's close to position. Okay, that's a hell of a transfer. 4v2.
Makes that look really simple. And even Config's just aggressive down here in from elbow. They've got a flash, but they might just not use it at all and go in dry with this starts. Do they even pre-aim Config?
Grim, AK swings forward, gets his kill. Indeed, they do pre-aim it, and Fang falls to trade back on the trader. So 1v2 for the man. And leaning in towards the mid-control as well. Farlig maybe impress ahead of the smoke. Fang has an open and free B bomb site. He's not aware of it just yet. Playing right into the hands of Astralis here. Farlig so ready for the kill, and that's what he'll get. Triple up for him in this round. 3-man stack on the B side. Glaive expecting them to make their way in from mid, and they'd be right to assume so. Smokes will go down. They will suppress some angles of the CT side. A crossfire held together on this one. Config will get Floppy, and Farlig will find JT the same. So there's that 3-man stack coming into effect. 4 versus 2. Fang could catch off the likes of Glaive, but that bomb being dropped on the B side means they've got to go in with the 2-pronged attack and regain control of the situation. Maybe the noise being made back here towards top mid might force them forward. They check Junior though, and as Zipex gets that kill, Fang surely should have no chance of doing this, and indeed he doesn't. 9-6 at the turn of the half. Astralis once again in control against Complexity. Sideline JT with 2 flashes on his pouch with the defense also there for him. Config with a quick peek and pick. Fang to fall. Grim with a responsive and leans in for a little bit more. Spotting Glaive up towards top mid. Meanwhile, the T's storm the A side. The distraction pulled by Glaive & Co. has allowed them to take all sorts of manners of map control. The bomb should go down from here.
And the bomb's going to take a little while to get over, and while that's in play, look at Blame F, taking the approach of getting deep in towards CT, slowing down some of these rotates, and now even out from mid, they've got plenty of options to work with. They're actually sending this bomb back away from AJ.
Against Glaive, not quite get the kill, see that bomb carrier the same. They can counter-rotate if they can take Grim back down. It's Floppy on a side, however, that gets Blame F, and JT trying to lock out some decent kills. Grim drops the bomb all the way back in at lane, so a 3 versus 2 Complexity, taking all sorts of control of the pistol. Glaive does get a good headshot jumping, and has room to breathe if he goes back to the A sites.
Yeah, surely gets the bomb down, at least in this sort of scenario.
Around the corner, low HP, tap on the bomb once. Checking all corners, they're not checking main though. The fuse not being stuck entirely. The kit is on JT. Swing out, see that player. Perfect headshot, perfect timing. And Glaive, patient as ever, wants to try baiting Floppy a little bit longer. Tap second time on the bomb defuse. Floppy on this one. Glaive, the 1v1 clutch, played to perfection. Defends the bomb, priority number 1. As Astralis take the pistol and take 10 rounds.
And that was absolutely marvelous.
In the Floppy and crossfire, 1 frag, 2 frags, not quite the 3rd. But plenty of cash game with that Mat 10 regardless. Another one's going to swing in and try to get the rest of the kills. Bomb will go down, effective, efficient, and not really much left in this one for Complexity. Should be 12 to the board of Astralis. Talk about Complexity in their CT half of things, how they brought the comeback against Na'Vi.
Yeah, they've been consistent on their T sides over the course of the group stage, so that doesn't bode that well for Complexity. But another thing that is in the back of my mind, Jay, isn't quite the CT to T side split. It's Complexity in the second halves. Think back to what happened on Nuke. They got, what, 2 rounds in the second half?
Jump face from Config, trying to spot out Fang here in the mid position. The M4 does fight against that player just at the edge of the smoke. Backs off towards Pit. Waiting at coming, the Molotov will try driving him away, and Config will get the kill in the trade.
Just force that fight as soon as you get that molly out from the Pit position.
AWP, a junior. Ready for Zipex. Incendiary's down. There's Floppy with a kill back. Actually, Zipex too distracted by the Incendiary. Sent high and dry. Grim finds Farlig, meanwhile out towards mid. Config ready for the trade back, and we'll be able to open up the A site. But with Blame stuck here in lane, that bomb outside of the B doors, Config's going to have to rejoin him and spot Config on the way out. So that's info for Complexity, and 25 seconds for Config to get this clutch. But essentially has to ace clutch this from here. Flash forward, looks out towards Route 18, not dead to rights. He gets his own kill in Complexity. They follow up out with the regular rifles instead. Mach 10 getting domed in immediately by Fang. Config turns to fall. Glaive predicting Grim so well, but can't get a kill against him, and Fang comes in with support. He's double up in this round. And a 4v3 situation. The A site has fallen, but Complexity still have control.
A really important swing there from Fang, just to back up his teammate and to allow more assistance down there from the mid control. The bomb can get planted. Does it get spammed by any of the donut players?
Not apparently. Flashes forward as they try and reposition for the retake. You still have one player of Grim paranoid that there's going to be some sort of mid-lurk play from Astralis. They don't have all the info. They do have Farlig though. That's 2 left standing. 1 left standing as Blame F falls with Zipex. The Clutch Minister, just too much to clutch on this. Start to reposition himself, but also look back towards site. If Glaive times this right, he gets both him and the donut player. No, Grim with a kill, 5 on 3. Might be low HP, so there's at least a kill or 2 coming in for the T-side line, but nothing major it seems. Still the advantage maintained by Complexity. Damage being done to both Blame and Zipex here.
Oh, this is very winnable, especially if they fight down onto these rotators. Trying to get that bomb down is going to be difficult, but it's a 1v1, and Blame F's got the orb.
I think he's also seen the player as well. Tap once. Force forward against Floppy. We'll have to stick the bomb plant this time. It's allowed Floppy to get real close, up close and personal. Wrap the corner, does concede the bomb plant in the end. Holds the angle intently and gets credited with his patience. Gets rewarded for his kill. A 5 on 4 Complexity with the advantage, and Astralis start walking into the B site. Zipex Shadow seen, but still he gets JT. Don't know what it is about these Astralis picks, but they look so effective sometimes. Another kill found by Ziff. As Blame F gets traded, it's a 3v3. Bomb yet to commit to site entirely, but Zipex is still looking for more into the back lanes. Flash round the corner. Junior's orb's been seen, and Ziff backs off.
Junior, just with this AWP, doesn't know where to reposition to and actually loses that orb fight. Zipex can start getting further aggressive. They can't quite get the bomb down because Glaive falls.
Farlig also tagged a little bit. Zipex looking to try and make another play. 2 to his name already. They wrap the corner and he gets Fang. Grim caught off guard with the orb shot. And at 20, Eagles pulled out here on the Complexity side. Wrecked on their own economy state. Glaive already picking up Fang. As Grim will take a trade back. Farlig will respond towards that man with a pistol of his own right. Blame F dead. The trade back. Zipex is deaf. So Junior's in a 1v3.
I think you've got to go hunting, really, on this last player. Once you get the bomb down, realize the importance of dropping the few. Junior does catch off Blame F in window, so that's already information to come through. And with him repositioning over towards the B site, he's got to back himself with the confidence to get this clutch together.
Incendiary's down. Junior. His AWP up, faces around, catches Glaive on the way out, but he doesn't ignite a bomb plant. Leg down by Farlig's AWP in an AWP v AWP battle. As long as he protects the bomb, that's all he has to do. AWP leans up, no scope doesn't connect it, frays out to the left-hand side, the AWP scopes in, and looks for Farlig around the edge of the box, but Farlig knows how to outplay him. A second missed AWP shot, gives the Glock his kill, and the 15th round does go the way of Astralis. 6 match points.
Slowly walk his way out from elbow. He's trying to see if he could draw one of these CTs back in towards mid. Farlig with the crosshair placement. Oh, just quick switching at the worst time.
Frag found a 4 versus 2. Flashes in, Floppy spotting likes of Glaive and dishing out some decent damage. 33 HP. The Galil continues to burst fire. Config works his way up towards mid to try and flank in against them and try and provide a bit of support from the other side of lane. Not going to work for him though. JT ready. A 1v4 for the Galil on lane. 33 HP. Port with the knife out. Complexity. 2 players with the hand cannons. Nothing major for Astralis, at least it should be. AK Floppy. Spots 2, gets 2, gets 3. Doesn't quite tap onto the 4th man, so a little bit of lost riflery there, but we should be seeing the returns come through from the CT side regardless. Kill on Glaive, Farlig in a 1 versus 4. Get the AK back if they want to. Nothing major in this round though. Complexity with an easy 13th for Astralis. It's about the rifles in round 29.
I gotta imagine a tactical pause is starting to loom in question of when it's next going to come through for the Danes. And Farlig just trying to see if he can get any more out of this round, but not to be. One kill gets... Yeah, just needs to fall back. Grim's going to try and hug on that left-hand side, see if he can spot a gap. The bomb plant is going to go down. Grim's got to over-aggressive. He wants to deny it.
Oh, Farley gets floppy as they let the bomb get planted. JT with 2, Config on a backstab, but his teammates on the center of the site have fallen. It's all to blame F now, coming in towards main, but Config's backstab slowly but surely creeps in. Shot to JT, pulls distraction. Blame F gets Grim, 2 versus 2 on the defuse. Fang tapped it once. A counter backstab to Config comes through from Junior, and Blame F with no idea where Fang is at. Ahead of that smoke, Junior's on the defuse right now. Blame's got to swing towards it. And they're going to hold the defuse, he'll hold the rifle, and Complexity hold the round.
Just when you think that's going to be the one to do so.
Blaze of Glory, Astralis, Complexity step up in towards the main position, but Config just takes off Grim's head.
And with this in mind, you're just pulling distraction, pulling those rotates. Even Floppy down aggressive in mid's got no idea this is the play.
Oh, and the shot comes into Junior. Fang trades it, and now they recognize what's going on. Flames watching for everything. Flash forward, will not allow a peek. They're just trying to do everything they can to suppress whatever little utility the T-side have. Nade damage, round the corner they will look to go, but Blame, blind as a bat, still gets his kill. Floppy with a responsive, a 3-on-2 now. Zipx watches, sprays through, Floppy brings it back to evens one more time. Farlig trying to hide around the totem, swing out, get the headshot, see where Fang is at, and that calls in info for Clay. The same, doesn't need to respond. It's Farlig with a double, and a 16-14, 2-1 series victory for Astralis, already finding their place in the playoffs, but securing it with a big win to close the group stage.
Oh, they can take a breath after that one. What a finale in round